Imagine yourself hiking through the European countryside, somewhere between England and Scotland. You and a friend have planned for months to backpack across Europe. A journey to a foreign land to see the sights and witness the culture. A break from the monotony of daily life. You set out on your journey, you walk towards the mountains, but as the day grows longer, you begin to lose your path. The sun is beginning to set. You become lost and you find sanctuary in a strange, isolated pub, and you ask for directions. Outside the walls of your refuge, a snarling howl erupts across the countryside, chilling you to the bone. The pub goers warn you stick to the road, beware straying from the path. Thanking them for their hospitality, you venture out into the dark, only to be lit by the light of the full moon. This is It Records. As always, I'm your host, Matt Johnson. Butchered the opening a little bit there. But I am joined again with two of other co-hosts, Pete and Lindsay. Pete and Lindsay.
The intro that you wrote.
Hello, everyone.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Pete, I didn't give you a warm open this time as I usually do.
That's okay.
Yeah.
People are tired of it.
Yeah, I got flustered when I messed up in the middle there.
And what was the name of that pub?
The Slaughtered Lamb, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a good name. Good name.
It's a good name, but where's the lamb? Right? No.
It's really welcoming, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was.
Very inviting.
So yeah, American Werewolf is the movie that we were doing.
Oh yeah.
If no one could pick up on that.
We did American Werewolf in London. Directed by John Landis, 1981.
Did you hear that? What was it? A coyote. There aren't any coyotes in England.
What happened to them?
Well, the police report said they were attacked by an escaped lunatic. Must have been a very powerful man.
Jack and I were not attacked by a man. It's an animal. A wolf.
Did he say a wolf?
Yes, I believe he did.
Did you get a good look at the man who attacked you?
Doctor, my memory is fine. It's my sanity I'm beginning to worry about.
You've never had bad dreams before?
Well, sure, as a kid, but never so real, never so weird.
I'm going to look into your eyes.
My friend Jack was just here.
Your dead friend, Jack.
Hi, David. He told me that I will become a monster in 2 days.
The supernatural, the power of darkness, it's all true. Please believe me.
Believe what? That tomorrow night, beneath the full moon, I'll sprout hair and fangs and eat people?
You'd be surprised what horrors a man is capable of.
Are you all right now?
I don't know. I'll let you know the next full moon. I'm a werewolf.
You're gonna change. You'll kill people. You'll become...
I know. A monster.
David, don't lose control!
Control? What control?
David, I can help you.
No, I'm not safe to be with. You gotta stay away from me. Run!
I didn't think it was that old. I thought it was more recent.
You didn't think it was an 80s movie, or did you think it was later?
Yeah.
Like later 80s, almost 90s. I felt like not just coming into the 80s. It's almost a 70s movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seemed much.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt more recent.
It kind of beat out the other werewolf movies that were coming out at the time, because there were quite a bit in the 80s, and I feel like it started off the pack.
Yeah. All right then.
It did.
Yeah. And It also surprised me. John Landis did this picture.
I was gonna say that.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've known of the movie American Werewolf in London for a long time, but not until this viewing did I really look into the directors. John Landis, the Animal House director,
And Blues Brothers.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense for the comedy in this film.
And quick segue for a second. Apparently, his son wants to do a reboot of the movie.
I read that too.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Is that like for sure, or they've been in talks of doing the remake?
I have no idea of how concrete it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that his son, you know, I don't know who said it, so I don't really know. It could be like legit.
Yeah.
Because like, oh, that makes sense why his son would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's done anything. I don't know.
His son's done no directorial work, but he's going to do the remake of it.
Yeah, but looking at his other work, it's weird that he did this movie. It doesn't really make much sense. Besides that, it is comedic a little bit, but it's also like there's some parts of it that are pretty messed up.
Yeah, I read that like he himself was pretty surprised watching it back at how gory it was, and I think that, you know, when he was looking to get the film done, I read that, you know, studios didn't really know where to place it. Like, it's too funny to be scary, and it's too scary to be, you know, a comedy. So I think it was definitely something that, you know, people hadn't really seen before. They didn't know what to do with it. So,
yeah.
Interesting.
It is. I couldn't even, like, really... I didn't want to label it slapstick horror, like The Burbs or, like, Reanimator, because it's not like poking fun at like conventions of other horror movies. It's a horror movie, but just like the jokes seem like they'd be in an Animal House movie. Like they just feel like they would be real jokes in a comedy movie. So it's a weird balance, but I mean it's entertaining.
I think it works. It like it's one of my like first viewing on this movie. I was like, wow, this movie's freaking amazing because I loved it. And I think I watched it for the first time. I rented it from the good old movie fan at ISU. It was like the first time I watched it.
R.I.P. Yeah.
And I actually bought my copy of it from there when they were closing down.
Oh, nice.
Man.
Yeah, so I still got it.
Relic from the past.
What'd you guys think of the soundtrack of the movie?
I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was just so, like, perfectly crafted, you know, every single song having to do with the moon. And, when I really started noticing that was when they started playing, Creedence, Clearwater Revival, Bad Moon, and I was just like, okay, I see where we're going here. So, I appreciated it.
Yeah, good old John Landis being, fighting hard for those, sound credits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, apparently he had a hard time getting the Van Morrison song, Moondance. And
Really?
he, like, desperately really wanted it in there. I saw that in, like, the little trivia thing for it.
It belonged there.
Yeah, there were 3 different versions of Blue Moon, right? The first, the transformation, the opening credits, and then was it the end credits? Was it Blue Moon? Yeah.
It was the end credits, yeah.
All 3 different versions.
What's so interesting is that all the songs were, like, pretty, like, upbeat for such a sinister, like, gory plot, you know? So,
that's why I think it stands out so much, and,
Yeah.
like, I've always liked when movies do that, they always go against, like, the grain. Like,
what
kind
you
of
would
just,
think.
like, really uplifting songs, almost. I mean, except for, like, maybe Bad Moon Rising, because that was, like, such a, I guess, anti-war time movement at the time. But it has, like, a kind of, like, an upbeat sound to it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
The song itself.
Yeah, the soundtrack really sets the tone for this movie.
But, is there anything, before we go more into the movie, is there anything you guys want to point out about, like, credits or fun little trivia, or do you guys want to wait on that?
I know that John Landis wanted it was going to be Aykroyd and Belushi to originally be in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were off doing some movie. I don't know the name. they were filming some other one at the time, so
I didn't recognize
yeah,
it, actually.
maybe that's why. Yeah, I don't
the movie
recall
name.
it.
Yeah, it must have been like a movie that didn't do so hot because I saw the both of them were in it, and I was like, I don't recognize that movie at all.
I think if they would have been in this movie, it would have definitely changed how I perceived it of Belushi and Aykroyd if it was the same exact script. Who would?
Well, it's weird is that I feel like it wouldn't work, but then like Dan Aykroyd also worked with John Landis in the Twilight Zone movie because he directed one of the segments in that movie. Why are you doing that?
What happened on that on that set for John Landis?
Oh, that's true.
But go on with your point.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that movie, but then you just made me remember what happened on the set of that movie. But I think besides that, it's a really entertaining movie. You have John Landis, Steven Spielberg, and Joe Dante. I think that's it. There might be another one. They all directed segments for that movie. And it's all really entertaining. They got great makeup artists. So it's like, Dan Aykroyd was like funny and scary in that.
Yeah.
So maybe it could have worked, but I feel like I couldn't see this movie any other way now that it's kind of cemented itself in like a werewolf genre, because it's like almost everyone's favorite werewolf movie, I feel like.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
I also know that because of this movie, Michael Jackson loved it so much that he had John Landis direct his Thriller music video.
That explains everything.
Oh, that's great.
And he got all the same crew, like his makeup people, everyone in the crew was the same from that movie to the music video, which I think is really cool.
That's crazy.
That's really awesome.
So was that 83, the music video, or was it?
Oh God, I don't even remember. It's sometime. It's probably around.
Oh yeah,
there
it had to be like right
somewhere.
after it, or pretty close. But I also heard the makeup artist in this film, which is great. I mean, it's good. We'll talk about that if we want. But he was pretty upset with Landis on how much they actually used of footage for the transformation scene.
Yeah.
Because of how long it took to actually make everything, and it was just like this. I don't know. I don't even know how long it was. Not that long, but just few shots.
It was like 2 minutes.
Yeah. And it would take him like, I forget, like months to like just do.
It took him the whole day to set it up.
Yeah, and then just, that's it. We're good.
But then I also saw in that, I think that same little bit, that like once he saw the crowd's reaction, he like changed his mind because like people were like cheering in the theater. And he's like, okay, my work did good.
It's appreciated.
But speaking of the transformation scene, do you guys want to give it a go to watch, and for our viewers we'll explain to them, I guess, since they can't really see it?
Yeah.
Let's give it a watch.
If I can figure it out. There we go.
All right.
I'm gonna hit play and turn down your.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because it's kind of loud in my headphones. And here's the second version of Blue Moon playing. Did you know that this actor spent over about half the film naked?
You know, yeah, I did read something crazy like that.
He's in a lot of pain right now.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys knew this about the makeup artist, is that he was supposed to do the makeup for The Howling.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys ever heard of that movie.
Mm-mm.
It's another prominent werewolf movie that I think Joe Dante directed, actually. And then John Landis convinced him to do this. So his protege took over for The Howling, and The Howling is also like considered like one of the best transformation scenes of all time.
Mm-hmm.
But people say this one is better because it was the master and not the student.
Oh.
But it's kind of crazy to see how they did this. Like, he's just, like, his body is really changing, and it looks good to this day.
Yeah.
It does. I think it does hold up.
Because, like, even though I feel like we kind of, like, shit on CGI a lot in this podcast, there's good ways of doing it if they kind of, like, combine the two. Like, oh, let's do some prosthetics and some CGI to kind of combine the two.
Sure.
But now it seems like it's just easier and cheaper to do all CGI. And I feel like a lot of horror films kind of fall into that category.
Yeah.
I like they just show Mickey Mouse for no reason.
Man, that is intense.
Do you guys think... Now I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, and full out spoilers, I guess.
Ooh.
Do you think that in the end that he intentionally let himself be killed in that crazy sequence
Piccadilly Center.
of like the little square?
Piccadilly Square, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You gotta wonder. Just because it's very, like, he definitely is starting to see all the havoc that he's wrought, you know, on this
Because
town.
like,
First, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, at first, like, he wasn't even sure, like, you know, he didn't remember what happened, and he's just like, you know, I'm not gonna do that, you know, and you know, this keeps happening, and it keeps getting worse, and so that is a really good question. I'm not totally sure what he was thinking toward the end, but it was just madness.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that,
because
because I feel like he was just like an animal at that point, and I forgot what I was reading about the movie, and I don't think it was like on Wikipedia. It was like someone's like take on the movie, and they said that he intentionally let himself be killed, and I was like really thinking about that, and I was like, I don't know if I agree with that, because it's like there was so much going on with that scene, because like people are just getting hit by cars, and people are getting slashed by the beast. And that scene's great, by the way. That's another great scene that we actually aren't going to talk about that much. And it's funny that he almost wasn't allowed to do the scene because of how much Chaos was going to do. But then, since he had experience with Blues Brothers and that crazy car chase and working with the Chicago Police Department, he kind of knew what to do in London for that scene. So, like, he had no problem because he knew exactly what to do without holding up traffic.
Wow.
On top of
That's
all
impressive.
all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they got it cleaned up within like a half hour, I guess, they said.
That's his forte, I guess. Crazy
Yeah.
chaos car chases. And quick cleanup. Chandler.
And he's actually in the scene where he gets hit by a car
Yeah.
and he goes through like the window.
That's talent.
Yeah, back to the your guys' point where you're talking about if he wanted to be killed at the end. I lean towards the way of he did. I mean, I agree with wherever you read that from. Just because what led up to that chaos was him in the theater with David and the other people that he had killed, and like how they're in the limbo state, which I want to talk about. That is like everybody who he attacks can't move on. They're sort of stuck in purgatory until the werewolf is killed. So he's starting to realize that, and like all these people have these lives, and he turns into the werewolf before he can do anything. And then it's the final realization of seeing the woman he loves and what he's done. So he kind of just is willing to give up his life so he's not ruining everybody and killing people anymore.
I really like they did that with the werewolf, because like I don't think I've really seen that before in any other werewolf movies. And you kind of see it with other horror films, but not so much. I feel like more maybe like a ghost movie or something. There's like a very paranormal experience to it.
Yeah.
But I think that kind of leads it up to the next clip, in my opinion, which is the one that you picked out, Matt, the Jack's warning, where they're first attacked right away his buddy's killed in London, or I guess the outskirts of London, where he's brought to the hospital. And I think we should start playing that one and
Sure.
take a listen and comment on it. How'd you guys feel about the love story between him and the nurse? Because I thought that was really weird.
I agree. I thought it was a little... I don't know even what to say about it. I was just like...
Can I have a piece of toast? Get the fuck out of here, Jack.
Okay.
I like how nonchalant Jack is.
Yeah, right.
He says, "Can I have a piece of toast?" And he's just like,
Yeah.
throats like fucking ripped out. I'm like, so gruesome.
I realize I don't look so hot, David.
This kind of reminds me of another
See me.
that John Landis told him to be as
David,
cheery as possible in
You're
these
hurting my
scenes.
feelings.
Hurting your
Interesting.
feelings?
I think it kind of
Has
plays
occurred to
into
you
like the
it might
comedy,
be
like a black
unsettling to see
comedy.
you rise from the
At
grave
that
to
point.
visit me?
Because he's just
Sorry to be
like,
upsetting
"Hey
you.
man, that's my friend." When
But I
he's
had to
like,
do
all
it.
the people are kind
Yeah.
of shitting on him at the movie theater.
Buried someplace in New York.
Yeah.
The little thing flopping around in his neck.
It's unsettling.
Well, why should you be surprised? You're a very well-liked person.
Yeah.
That also must have taken a long time
I
to.
feel like all the makeup
David,
had
on
to
him.
have.
identified a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Am I asleep now or what?
So you know what she does? She's so.
So of the
She runs to find
scenes that you guys have chosen, are these your favorite in the movie, or did they just
An
call them
asshole.
out for the best discussion
Life
in
mocks
your
me even in
opinion?
I think they're good for discussion,
David.
especially to talk
What?
about the most poignant parts of
Now,
the film,
I'm really sorry
as
to
in
be
like the
upsetting
werewolf
you,
lore we're talking about
but
here and the
I have to warn
transformation.
you.
But
We were attacked by a werewolf.
as for my favorite,
Listening to this.
I do like the subway
We
scene
were
a lot.
attacked by a lycanthrope.
Yeah, that's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
that
where
one's
he chases
good,
down the
too.
guy off the
I
subway.
was murdered, an unnatural death, and now I walk the earth.
Where
in
you
limbo
see
until the
a
werewolf
Monty
proves
Python
that
poster.
No, I didn't.
Shut up.
The wolf's bloodline.
Yeah,
must be
I
severed.
could have sworn I did.
The
I realized
last
I
remaining
made
werewolf
that
must be
up.
destroyed.
I thought it was like the meaning of life or
Oh,
something.
maybe.
It's you, David.
Is that around the same time?
Probably pretty
Please
close.
believe me.
This is 81.
You'll kill people.
Yeah,
Nurse! Listen to me! Nurse! The
because like that's
supernatural.
too long after
The
Holy
power of
Grail. I
darkness?
feel like
Yeah.
It's all true. The undead surround me.
it's got to be like.
Have you ever talked
What
to
was
a
the third
corpse?
one? I can't even
It's
remember.
boring. I'm lonely. Take your life, David. Kill yourself. Before you
I guess
kill
this also
others.
brings up where Jack just told him to kill himself. He kind of just
Please
tells him
don't
to do that in
cry.
all the discussions.
It all leads back to
So
that.
it could kind of support your theory that you agree with.
Yeah.
That.
Because he also tries to,
Beware the moon, David.
later in the film with that pocket knife, but he wimps out.
Yeah.
Yeah, after he talks to like his
Yeah.
little sister or something.
Tells her to tell his parents he loves them, and yeah, you could kind of see
Yeah,
where that was going.
I feel like I'm running out of trivia. I just keep dropping them.
Dropping some knowledge.
Well, in terms of trivia, I mean, we've talked about the makeup and how, I mean, the transformation sequence and how gory it looks. It prompted the Oscar award, right, for best makeup in a motion picture.
For best,
Yeah.
it was the first one to
Mhm.
win it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. So there's some.
And someone that year got an honorary award. I'd never seen the movie that they were talking about. It was like The Many Faces of something. It came out like in 1960. I remember the year of the movie for some reason, but not the name of the movie. It was like some classic like horror actor that. I'm trying to think what even movie that would be, but it doesn't really. I haven't seen the movie, so it didn't really click with me.
Who the actor was? You said it was a iconic horror actor. Is it Lon Chaney?
Yeah, and it was like
Okay. Which would.
it might have been Lon
Yeah, I
Chaney.
feel like-
Because I feel like who else would they give it to? But it was like the movie was for 1960, and Lon Chaney was definitely dead by then. They could have given it to his son. I don't know. Because both of them
Mm-hmm.
were in horror movies.
Lon Chaney was the Wolfman, right? Yes. Junior was the Wolfman.
Junior
Okay.
was. Yeah, I thought the
That's right.
senior
Yep,
was like
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Gotcha.
And I found remember a funny trivia from this is that when they casted was it David is the main guy, right? That's his name. In London they kind of didn't want him to do it at first. They're like, oh, we got a lot of fine boys here in London that you could cast, and then they didn't want him to do it without like having like a main British actor. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just call the movie American Werewolf in Paris then. And then they're like, okay, you could cast whoever you want, John Landis. And what's funny is that there actually is a movie called that. This technically the sequel, I guess, to this movie that's supposed to be pretty terrible. I've never seen it. No one at all is involved by any means, which is classic horror sequels in my opinion, especially for ones that are bad.
I'm really glad you wanted to watch this one, because I was gonna watch the wrong movie at first. I thought you wanted to watch American Werewolf in Paris, and I was reading about it. I was getting really concerned. I was like, that doesn't seem like something he would do. And then we clarified in conversation that we were supposed to watch the first one, so but yeah, I read that one. I think it was 15 years after the London one. That's
wow. That's a long
Maybe that's
time.
what I'm thinking
and it
of.
did not do well.
Yeah. Maybe that's the one I was thinking of. I thought it was more recent. That's what I'm thinking of. That
definitely would be more of 90s than that at that point. It'd be like late 90s.
Yeah. It was 97 or something like that.
Shall we go into the last scene that we've picked out?
Let's do it.
That even though we haven't really talked much about it, but he had a lot of nightmares in the movie. And this one I think is the most bizarre. And kind of leading up to it, it kind of reminded me of like Nazis, because they just look like Nazi werewolves.
Oh
yeah. I don't know where he got it from, but apparently it's very similar to another horror film. It's a horror anthology movie. Can't remember the name, so I'm not really helping out anyone here. But apparently it's very similar to that, and I think it was like totally by accident. The only thing that's different is, like, I guess spoiler for the end of the clip before we even watch it, the nurse is not killed at all. Where in this one, his little crush gets killed at the end of the sequence.
They're in love, Pete.
It's like really the only difference.
Love. It's not a crush. They're in love.
Yeah, you know, they spent like what, 2
and then
days
they're moving
together.
In together. Come on, Pete. That's how it works.
Had sex in a shower that was really cold, apparently. I read it in the trivia. They're like, yeah, the showers are really cold because there's a lot of showers in London. And I was like, that's a weird trivia.
That's good to know.
But on that note, I'm gonna play the clip that starts off when they're watching the Muppets.
This dream sequence, which there are several, this one blew me away. I had no idea this would be coming.
Was this your first time
I'm just
watching
saying
it?
in general. Yeah, when I first saw it, I was, this one. I was like,
oh, I was blown away too, because I was just like, yeah, open up the door. Fucking Nazi werewolves.
Huh.
It's like really messed up too. And apparently the makeup guy, I'm not doing him any favors because I don't know his name without looking at it. He's the one with the knife toward David's throat.
Oh, no shit.
And then with the big old mask and there he slows throat. And it apparently was a real knife. And the actor was really scared that he was gonna do something because you couldn't see shit through those masks apparently.
Man, why have a real knife?
I don't know. It's really Inception there, where a dream within a dream. It's a bad one.
Yeah.
But I wonder why Nazi werewolves.
Well, I know. I was reading somewhere, and I do more research, but he wanted to do something like some sort of symbolic allegory to like the Holocaust, because that's why. I mean, David, they say, is Jewish, or whatever, and
yeah.
And yeah, so they wanted to have it be...
The nurse who took a peek
Yeah.
to make sure that he was Jewish. That was
Yeah.
weird.
So I need to take a deeper look at that, watching it through that lens, but that's what I read. And that's why it's Nazis, or meant to look like Nazis.
Wow.
The doctor also makes that offhanded comment that if I could survive Rommel in the desert, I could survive this. Which is a World War II general.
Yeah.
Kind of just dropping
Interesting.
little World War II references all around the
Tie-ins.
movie, I guess. Did you like how freaking British the doctor was?
Yeah. Doctor...
He's
Is
a
this
good
like-
dude.
He was just like, if you're gonna be crazy, just do it on your own time,
Just
try and straighten up,
logical.
lad. I'm trying to imitate him, but I can't do a British accent. He's like, at least wait until you're out of our care. I'm just like,
Thanks, Doc.
what kind of... Or another character that kind of just is random. The two police officers that are from Liverpool,
Mm-hmm.
very comedic, and the one that drops shit in the doctor's office, and the one who's from the UN or whatever, he's like the representative. He's like, oh, these kids these days don't appreciate anything you do for them. Remember, because he's like freaking out. He's like, David, stop freaking out. It's fine. Your friend's dead. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do you think he's fucking freaking out? His friend literally died.
Yeah, he comes in like hot and is like pissed that David is having any reaction. Like, oh, these dumbass kids. You don't even know him. You work for the UN.
No sympathy there.
Yeah.
Have a heart,
Like that, it was like very aggressive for him to be like, God, these fucking kids just don't appreciate anything. Like, you're being a little harsh right now. He's in the hospital.
He's been out for 3 weeks, right?
I was
Isn't that
gonna
what they
say,
said?
like 3-week coma or
Yeah.
something like that. Give me a damn break.
He was attacked by a fucking animal.
Well, it was a lunatic, they said. They all said it was a lunatic, not
It
a
was
werewolf.
A strength of 10 men, apparently. The doctor says this. Come on, you should know more than that. So, closing comments for the movie. Is there any? I feel like we just dropped trivia throughout the meat of the episode, where we usually kind of wait for the end. We mentioned there was a shitty sequel.
Yeah, and a possible remake.
Possible remake. Box office success, I think. I actually don't know.
Oh, yeah. It was only a $10 million budgeted movie. And they made 62.
So, yeah,
That's pretty
seems
good.
pretty successful.
So it was profitable. Yeah, which prompted a second one 15 years later.
Not so much luck there.
I wonder if John Landis was pissed off
I
about that.
would imagine.
I bet he
kind of
was.
just come in there and... Do we know who directed that one?
I have no idea.
I mean,
No,
it
I
doesn't
don't,
matter. It
actually.
wasn't John Landis, but, therefore irrelevant.
Yeah, but it could be somebody.
I mean, it could be.
It could be someone important.
Yeah.
I'll
Like
give
the
it a-
Aliens quadrilogy has, that's Ridley,
Yeah,
Fincher, who
Cameron.
else? James Cameron. Yeah, it's all these people that went on to do other things.
And then the French director who directed Amelie.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
If you
really?
ever seen that, I'm pretty sure that's him.
Oh, okay.
Whoops, I googled American in Paris, which is a totally different movie. It is a musical, if you guys were wondering.
Well, do we want to defend, destroy it?
Yeah.
I absolutely defended it if you guys didn't know. Oh my god, American Werewolf in Paris has 7% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And that's the movie I
So
thought you
good.
wanted to watch. You can imagine my concern.
I mean, there's
Just
some
leapfrog
shitty...
American Werewolf in London to that one.
There's some shitty movies that I like that are horror films that I enjoy. Yeah, he's done nothing.
Okay.
He's from Beirut? Am I saying that right?
Beirut.
From I'm
Damascus.
just not really good. Yeah, from Lebanon.
Ah,
You know, I'm just gonna let that one slide.
Let that one lay there. Okay.
I can't pronounce words, but he hasn't done a whole lot. He stopped directing in 2009. It looks like, and I've never heard of any of these movies.
Solid.
It's a shame.
So yeah, we all defended it, I assume.
You know what,
agree
guys?
with you.
I'm gonna have to. No, I'm gonna defend it. I'm defending it. I enjoyed it.
So last question here before our sign off: is this probably gonna be the best werewolf movie we probably will see? Maybe. I mean, I guess people could say the Werewolf if you want to go classic, but I don't think there's too many other contenders besides those two. From what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't. Probably. I can't think of another one. They remade The Wolfman in like the early 2000s, which wasn't that great.
Yeah. You talk about that one with Benicio del Toro that I saw in theaters.
I did too. I was there. Yeah.
I was really excited. I would say the makeup is really good for it, but everything else is pretty awful. I remember thinking it was bad back then, and I was in high school, and I feel like my taste in movies weren't very, eclectic. They weren't refined as they are right now.
So I would say this one has got to be the best one we'll do. But we can search through. We can look through a bunch of werewolf movies.
Yeah. And I still stand by my comment that Wolfman's the best of the classics from Universal.
Well, I mean, it's great. But, I mean, you got Dracula in there, Pete, which you constantly knock. You constantly knock it.
You know how I feel about it.
Lindsay, do you have a favorite Universal monster? You guys...
She's just laughing at us because I feel like she hasn't seen any of them.
Peter is correct. Nah, I don't have too much knowledge about that sort of thing. But I have to say, really enjoyed this movie where werewolves were concerned. I don't know if this could ever be beat, honestly. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah.
I think what this means is that we need to pool together and write the next best werewolf movie. Write the screenplay, send it in.
I just remembered one that could give it some kind of contention. Ginger Snaps.
Ginger Snaps. Is it 90s?
Wait.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Have you not seen it?
I've never seen Ginger Snaps.
Oh, God.
Never even heard of it.
God, it's so good.
Ginger Snaps.
Yeah, it's two sisters, and one of them turns into a werewolf, and it's great. It's so good.
Oh.
I bought it on iTunes for like $5. And I was like, hell yeah. During the Halloween sale that they do on iTunes, they always have random sales.
Huh. But back to this Ginger Snaps thing.
Yes.
What year was this?
Like 2000?
Who did this?
I want to say.
When was this?
It was like 2000s. Early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And I don't think the two leads are like that famous. They've been in things, but like nothing I could remember.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. It's Canadian.
Okay.
So that's a movie for the future for sure, because I actually forgot about it until I remembered it.
Alright. Yeah, that looks like it was in 2000. So that was, a while ago.
Which is weird to say in my mind.
That's
because
crazy.
we were alive.
Yeah. I don't know what I was doing in 2000. It was like...
Freaking out about Y2K.
8.
You know?
Yeah. That was
freaking
a big
Party
out
night
about
was
that.
1999. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
At the age of like 8.
Alright, well...
Drinking some Sunny D.
Or Capri Sun, you know?
Ooh.
Whatever your flavor was.
Alright, we got a little off track there, but I think the episode's
we've
pretty much
defended it.
over.
So go out and watch American Werewolf in London. That doesn't have the song Werewolves of London in it. That didn't make the cut. Yeah, keep up with us on the Twitters and the Facebook. We'd love to hear what you're thinking. And I remain in the shadows.
I thought you were gonna skip it for a second. I was like, yeah, that's fine.
No, every episode.